Welcome to episode number 65 of the Active Geek podcast. In this episode, we are focusing on King Kong. We focus on the past, the present, and the future of the King Kong movie franchise, all leading up to the release of King Kong Skull Island, which is in theaters on March 10th, and it stars Brie Larson, Samuel L. Jackson, John Goodman, Corey Hawkins, Tom Hiddleston, John C. Reilly, Toby Kebbell. It's got an all-star cast. It's got a Marvel Studios cast minus the Marvel Studios picture in front of it. During this episode, we talk about our feelings, both mine and Chuck's feelings about the King Kong franchises, and usually we kind of agree on everything in our episodes. This episode is completely different as we both have a different take on what we think about Kong in general. I will say that I am pumped for the new King Kong movie. It looks great, and I know Chuck is as well. So take a listen to everything that we have to offer in this episode, and there's something a little bit different about this episode. So you're just gonna have to wait for it, and you'll definitely know when it hits you. So without any further ado, this is episode number 65 of the Active Geek podcast entitled King Kong.
Superhero landing. Wait for it.
This is the Active Geek podcast. I am your host, Jim DeLulo, and I am joined by the pop culture wizard himself, Chuck Miller. Say hello, Chuck.
What's up, guys?
And we have a monstrous episode today.
It's an understatement.
It's huge. It's huge, if you will.
Huge.
With 17 U's and 1 G and 1 E and 2 little hands. That's how big our episode is. Because we are talking about something, not somebody, because it's not a person. We are talking about something that debuted in 1933, and it was a brainchild of a guy named Edgar Wallace and Marion C. Cooper. And that person is, Chuck?
King Kong.
We are talking King Kong, and the reason why we're talking King Kong is because on March 10th, right?
Yes.
One day after my birthday, your wife's birthday,
Yes.
we have King Kong Skull Island coming out.
Yes.
It's the first time King Kong has been featured in a motion picture since 2005, when I graduated high school. So that's crazy, right? So that's the last time King Kong was featured on the screen. But before we get to our Kong Skull Island discussion, I feel we need to reintroduce our friend Kong to the masses. You know, this is a guy, and I'm going to just call him a guy, because I feel like I met him. I think we're best friends, me and Kong. Killer Kong. Oh my God, there is a straight to BET movie called Killer Kong. There's gotta be. What do you think?
A rapper.
Killer Kong? That's a great ass name. That's my rap name. Alright, so do you remember when you first saw or even heard of King Kong?
Yeah, I do, actually.
Because you can remember the first time you heard Yeah by Usher, but you can't remember something I told you 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So tell me the first time when you first saw or heard or envisioned King Kong.
When I was a kid, I had a childhood friend who loved King Kong. The old black and white.
Killer King Kong.
Killer King Kong.
Okay.
Killer Kong.
Killer Kong.
He loved, like, the 1933 version of King Kong.
Yeah.
And he had it on tape. And that's the first time I've seen it.
Okay, so...
And he had all of them. He had, like, that. And Son of Kong.
Okay.
And shit. And then, like, later, came out King Kong Lives, which was not...
That was like the 60s, right?
That was 86.
Jesus. Alright, so I wasn't even born for King Kong Lives. I was
4.
I was brought into the world during the reign of Kong. In 86. I was brought in 87. So, you remember, you were a small child, and your buddy, Killer Kong...
Killer Kong.
Showed you King Kong.
Yeah.
Okay. Same kind of story. It wasn't my friend. Let's go back, right, to the time when we were children, right? We didn't have as many channels as we do now. You had 3, 6, 10, 29 in the early 90s. You had some other channels in there. And if you had a little bit of extra money, you had Prism. I remember watching King Kong at my grandfather's house. He would have the VHS and...
which version? 33?
It was all black and white, so I don't know. He had it. I didn't ask questions. I was a small child and there was a giant monkey on the screen. That's all I was worried about. So, my grandpa, Mike, that was my dad's dad, was the first person to show me King Kong. And my dad he's not a big current movie buff guy. His stuff is, like, he likes all the black and white and old westerns, like spaghetti westerns and Gunsmoke and stuff like that. He's not a big current movie guy.
Yeah.
So, I grew up on all the old time stuff. The original Universal monsters in black and white, and you got like the original Godzillas and King Kong from like 33 and 36 and the 60s and the 50s or whatever. Whenever the giant ape was on screen, I never saw it in theaters. You know what I mean? I didn't even see Peter Jackson's in theaters.
I did.
Doesn't surprise me.
Seen it by myself.
Doesn't surprise me either that you saw it or you saw it by yourself. Did you think it was like? Do you think King Kong was cool, or do you think it was kind of stupid?
See, when I was little, I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
Because I liked all that campy stop motion.
Yeah.
Because he was really into big that too, so he kind of introduced me to all that. And the black and white. I mean, for stop motion for 1933, special effects were actually pretty damn good.
Yeah. Better than Underworld Blood Wars.
Oh my god. That and Fantastic Four.
Ugh.
But no, I really liked it. So, I always like stop motion. I think it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a dying art form. You don't really see it that much.
Speaking of it, we were just talking about it this morning when you came over. I was watching Robot Chicken.
Yeah.
And if you like stop motion, you should watch Robot Chicken. You said you'd never seen it, so I think you would benefit from watching that. You like it.
Yeah. What was that? Latvia Studios?
Lakai? Latvia? Like the country of Latvia?
Yeah.
Yes, they have their own studio production of Kubo and the Two Strings.
Lakai Studios, they're the premier of stop motion.
Well, yeah, I think they're really the only people besides like Stupid Monkey and Stupid Buddy Productions that are doing stop motion that's getting out there. You know what I mean? They've introduced us to worlds with Coraline and Kubo and Paranorman and the Box Trolls. They've welcomed us into those worlds that are huge. Like, we've never seen a world like Kubo and Two Strings.
No.
You know what I mean? That world is like Doctor Strange.
Yeah,
crazy. You know what I mean?
Their movies are fucking strange.
I really liked Kubo.
I like Kubo too, but it was weird.
It took a while for me to see Kubo.
I had seen it like a month ago.
Yeah, I saw it the day before you saw it, so it wasn't that long ago.
But I really liked how they did it back in 1933.
There was also a monkey in Kubo and Two Strings.
Yes, there was.
And we are see, Kong's not a monkey. Kong is an ape.
Yeah.
Do you know how you can tell the difference between an ape and a monkey?
Apes don't have a tail.
Perfect. Very good. I was intrigued about Kong, but kind of thought he was stupid. You know what I mean? Yes, he's a huge ape, but as a small child, a big monkey kind of intrigued me. But then you see, like, he's not that big. You know what I mean? He's bigger than a human, but he was not that big, and he's just gripping up pretty girls. You know what I mean? It was, I don't know, he really didn't do much for me. He wasn't like, my reaction to him wasn't my reaction to when I saw Godzilla. And I think that's because, one, you can see a gorilla at the zoo. You know what I mean? You know what they look like. I've never seen a dinosaur. And I was always intrigued by dinosaurs. Coloring books of dinosaurs, toys of dinosaurs TV show. Not the Mama, you remember that one?
Yep.
So there were a lot of dinosaur things going on. Jurassic Park was out in the early 90s. King Kong, it was just a giant monkey. Ape. And I was like, it is what it is. It's cool, but, nothing to write home about. What makes Kong so special and popular? Because all he really is a large ape.
He is, but I think the story itself, like the original story, of how,
he was captured and brought over to America.
Ripped from his home
mm-hmm.
and brought into a world and had to adapt, and, he went freaking crazy. And I don't know, there's something special about the story and how King Kong is.
It's timeless, because when you think of King Kong, you think it wasn't like, he's this monkey that came from the zoo, and
he just grew. He was taking growth hormones and he got bigger. No, that's not how it works. It's a monkey or an ape that was taken from its homeland, plucked from its homeland, thrown in a cage either on a boat or on a plane, and taken right to America where it wasn't treated with respect or decency. It was treated as a sideshow freak.
Oh yeah, it was.
You know the story. We know the story. We've explained it, right? Where does Kong rank as far as the legendary creatures, like Nessie and Godzilla and Mothra and stuff like that?
See, I was thinking more. I was thinking more movie legend creatures rather than like Nessie's more of a.
Nessie's. There's been Loch Ness movies.
Yeah.
Kraken movies. So where does he rank?
In my book,
Yeah.
number 2.
Number 2 behind Godzilla?
Yep.
Oh. I would take Rodan before fucking King Kong. Or, like, I'm going to go Godzilla, Nessie, the Kraken, because the Kraken's in, that's a legendary creature. Yeah. And then I'd probably take Medusa, then King Kong. Because
he doesn't have any powers, no.
No, it doesn't have to have a power, but Godzilla is like a dragon, essentially, right? Dragons don't exist, right? Kong is an ape.
He's a 100-foot ape.
He's a large gorilla. Gorillas exist. Dragons do not.
Mother dragons.
Nothing like a King Kong dragon or a Godzilla dragon. He's nowhere near a Godzilla dragon. These things are... First of all, Godzilla walks upright. You will see him, like, lurking about on 4 legs. He's got tiny T-Rex arms. He's a T-Rex dragon. That's badass. And he's your number 1 anyway. Kong's like 5 or 6 for me. You kind of get where I'm going with this whole podcast, though.
Yeah.
Where my take on King Kong is. Not a big fan.
I've always liked
wait till we get to the Peter Jackson King Kong. Because that's where I'm going to, as the kids say, go in. That's where I'm about to go. What have you thought about the evolution of Kong throughout the years? He debuted in 33, right? Now we're getting him into 2017.
Yep.
And he's slated to keep going. His next appearance, I believe, is going to be 2020. May 29th, 2020. What do you think about the evolution we've had? And I know you, as a big King Kong fan here, can give me a little retrospect.
Well, the first Kong I really liked.
Okay.
Obviously. The original, I thought was good. Then, same year, they put out Son of Kong.
Yeah.
Well, that was basically the men that captured Kong went back and found his kid.
Where's Mrs. Kong? Where is she in this? Queen Kong.
It's, Immaculate Conception.
So the man had the baby. Is that how it works with girls?
Pooped him out.
Well, I would assume that's how all babies are born. They poop them out. Is that true? Or do we need to have a talk?
Bird and bees later.
So is Son of Kong Donkey Kong?
Maybe.
Or is that Diddy Kong? Is Diddy Kong Donkey Kong? Or is Donkey Kong King Kong? And Diddy Kong Son of Kong?
I don't know.
Where's Mrs. Kong?
Immaculate Conception.
There's a lot of flaws in this storyline.
So, it was more of a comedy.
Yeah, because there was no mother.
Yeah. So, then he took a break.
Kong just took a vacation.
Kong took a break, and then 62 was King Kong vs. Godzilla.
Okay.
Now, even though it was 2 legendary monsters,
It's a pretty big jump to just say, "Hey, guess who's back?"
Yeah.
Guess who's back? Kong's back to fight Godzilla.
and in King Kong, I showed you the graph. There was a graph put out by ComingSoon.net.
Yeah, he was about 5 inches taller than I was.
In King Kong, he was, in the 33 version,
He was like 18 feet.
he was 18 feet. Now, the next Kong, because Son Kong wasn't King Kong himself,
Yeah.
the next one,
He's my height.
he was 148 feet.
No, he was 12 feet.
No. That's Son of Kong.
Yeah, but you skip. Oh, we're going just.
King Kong.
When he fought Godzilla, he was 148 feet.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, he's been working out. Kong's been hitting the gym.
Yeah. He went from. He grew 130 feet. But,
God.
It was pure cheesiness because it was all that Japanese. They were all like.
It was a kaiju movie. It was a Godzilla movie featuring Kong.
Yeah, it was a guy in a fucking gorilla suit.
It's like a DMX song featuring Cisco.
But it was full. It was 60s B movie. You know what I mean? Then,
But think about that for a second. A B movie in the 60s with two of the most legendary characters. That's fucking crazy. That's like having Frankenstein and Dracula battle at a wine like a soda social, whatever the fuck it's called, ice cream, and like an ice cream social.
yeah, and
That's
then
terrible.
well, it gets even worse.
Jesus Christ!
Like in the 60s, took a weird turn. Then there was
why do you think it took a weird turn in the 60s?
because everyone was
What was going on in
dropping
the
acid.
60s? there had to be something going on
So
in the 60s.
then the ultimate fucking cheesiness is King Kong Escapes, where he battled fucking Mecha Kong.
Did he get out? He escaped?
The storyline is so stupid. You know what it's about?
The whole Kong storyline, the whole thing of Kong is stupid.
The fucking a Japanese like tyrant gets fucking King Kong to dig for precious gems, and he's replacing Mecha Kong because Mecha Kong couldn't do the job. And
Was Mecha Kong a robot?
a robot King Kong.
So Cyborg Kong.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
and Mecha Kong didn't like that too well.
Can you see why I don't like this this character at all?
So Mecha Kong didn't like that too well. So they fought.
Wait, so the robot has its own brain and feelings?
Yep.
Oh my god, the plot holes in this are
They were dropping acid.
awful.
And then it took a more grounded turn when King Kong, Jeff Bridges was in it
Yeah,
in the '76 version, and then King Kong Lives, a little more grounded.
yeah. Just like Superman Lives that we never got a chance to see.
Seen
Was that a
Super-
Tim Burton film? King
Yeah.
Kong Lives?
No, no.
Oh, could you imagine? Johnny Depp would be the protagonist. 7-year-old Johnny Depp.
But
37 bracelets.
so that's the evolution up until the next time we're going.
Okay,
we're
so-
talking to Peter Jackson. So it took a very very like
Let me summarize this. So, stupid to even more stupid to plot holes galore to grounded to Peter Jackson's. That's really what it went to. It went from this is going to be the shit to oh my god he's fighting a lizard to now he's fighting a robot,
a monkey robot,
a monkey,
ape robot,
a cyborg ape. Jesus Christ, this is the dumbest franchise ever.
Off air, I have to show you the pictures.
It's well, I'm going to post them. This is a dumb. This, in my mind, is one of the dumbest franchises ever. The King Kong franchise.
You don't think the new movie looks good?
We're going to get to that, but at this point, where we're talking about up to Superman Lives, dumbest franchise I've ever thought of. All right, so we got Peter Jackson. The Lure of the Hobbits comes along, 2005, and says, you know what? I'm going to make a King Kong movie. And you know who my lead's going to be? Adrian Brody. So, in 2005, Rotten Tomatoes was just apparently certifying all these movies, because that movie's sitting at an 85. 85, Chuck. 85 hours long is what I thought about this
Go ahead,
movie.
Jim. Tell me how you really feel.
Well, first of all, it was 47 days worth of film. That's what I felt like. I felt like I watched it over a month and a half. That's how long that movie was. It was like 25 hours long.
It was a long movie.
Yeah, it was almost a 3-hour movie. I'm not a big Adrian Brody fan.
I hate Adrian Brody.
He's not a leading man to me, i.e. Predators. Go back to see Predators. Not a leading man.
The only movie that was good with him in it was
The
The
Pianist.
Jacket.
The Pianist. He won an award for that.
I-
He's a good actor. He's won awards. He's been nominated for them. He's not my type of good actor.
But
Until he
The
plays
Jacket
Homelander.
was good, and it's only because Keira Knightley showed her boobies.
Okay. Alright. I thought the movie was too long for my liking, but it had a really good storyline. Listen, Peter Jackson's not known for making 90-minute films. So, going into it, I'm like, I know exactly how long this is going to be. But it was Avatar long, where I'm watching it and I'm like, oh my god, is this the ending? No, there's 45 more minutes left of this. This is Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice Extended Edition long, where you're just like, this could be the ending. No. Is that the ending? No. Credits? No. No. One more battle. That's how I thought. But the storyline was good. The visual effects were really good. Kong was awesome. Like, just the way that they developed Kong in that was really cool. Listen, it didn't make me fall in love with King Kong. It didn't make me like King Kong. But it made me kind of respect the process that went into that film. What do you think of PJ's King Kong?
I'm taking a different route. I liked it.
I know you did. You like King Kong. You spent 5 minutes talking about Kong versus Mega Kong. I knew exactly where you were taking a different route. You were taking a route that I knew.
Or a different route from you.
Our listeners knew what route you were taking.
So, I liked it. I didn't like Adrian Brody. Because again, what we were just talking about, I never really liked him.
Yeah, we don't.
I liked that it brought it back to the original story in the 1930s.
Yeah, because think about it, dude. 2005, nobody knew the real story of King Kong.
No.
Now, you have to reintroduce it. And I feel like 2017, we're about to reintroduce it again. Continue.
So, I liked it. When I heard Jack Black was in it, I was like, oh, fuck. He wasn't as bad as I expected.
No, not at all.
And then Colin Hanks and...
I'm not gonna lie, I like Jack Black.
Oh, so
I like
do
the stuff that he's been in. Did you see that movie Bernie he was in?
Yeah, it was about the guy that worked at a morgue or something, right?
I don't know what it's about, but he was serious in it. From the trailer, at least.
And then I like...
Awesome at Tenacious D, that's all I need.
I thought Naomi Watts was a perfect Ann Darrow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, that was the height of Naomi Watts.
Yeah.
I feel like that was all she was in. That's her claim to fame.
And
no, her claim to fame is Leah Schreiber. That's really... Because they've been together forever.
She played Princess Diana in a movie.
In what movie?
The Princess Diana movie.
I didn't watch it.
Not either.
I only had the Beanie Baby.
You would.
I did. Grew up in a house of women.
But, and then, of course, our boy Andy Serkis did the motion capture.
Yeah.
And he also played Lumpy.
You know what's funny about Andy Serkis? I'm going to go on a little... Before we get into this. So I've been telling you about Con Man, right?
Yeah.
And this really doesn't give it away, because there's a mocap actor who's like the second best mocap actor in the show, and he talks about like his first role was he was the feather in Forrest Gump, and his whole thing is if you want to go play a monkey, talk to Andy Serkis, because that's all he's good at. He's like Gollum's just a naked gibbon, like a hairless gibbon. Because you think about it, Caesar, King Kong, Gollum. He's pretty much spot on with ape-like creatures. But that's my Andy Serkis talk I wanted to say. I think you would like Con Man. And I think anybody that listens to us would like Con Man on Comic-Con HQ. It's like a Netflix streaming service. Definitely worth the watch. 24 episodes, 13 minutes long. It's beautiful. Alan Tudyk's in it. Love it.
I'll have to check it out. So anyway.
This episode is sponsored by Comic-Con HQ's Con Man. It's not really. I wish. I'm going to talk to Alan when we meet him in April.
So he was King Kong and Lumpy. And one of the best scenes in that movie was when he fought the Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Was that Andy Serkis' first live-action role in King Kong?
No, he was in 13 Going on 30 with Jennifer Garner. That's true.
Jesus, you pulled that out of your ass like it was just waiting to be pulled out.
Told you.
That's crazy knowledge. You can't remember. Jesus, go ahead. 13 going on 30. Fucking A.
Told you, fucking active geek resident movie historian.
Pop culture wizard, as I introduced you as in the beginning.
So he rips the jaw of the Tyrannosaurus Rex, and then he played with it.
I enjoyed the T-Rex battle. That was
the best scene of the whole fucking movie.
You know what I thought that was at the time, before I really understood foreshadowing? I thought that was foreshadowing to a Kong versus Godzilla movie. Like, I thought that was gonna... you already had Godzilla established, like 99? With that crazy-ass movie.
Yeah. Roland Emmerich's fucking...
Yeah.
Matthew Broderick.
Yeah. He's already... It's the second time we've mentioned it.
Third time.
So, no, today.
No, third time in the fucking podcast.
Yeah. So, I kind of thought that was a little foreshadowing that Roland Emmerich's Godzilla was going to fight PJ's Kong. Did not happen.
No.
Probably for the best. Could you imagine how long that movie would have been? Yeah, that would have been a 3-part movie.
Well,
It would have been a trilogy in itself.
I really thought that scene was awesome. And then
It
just
was.
at the end when he broke his jaw and then just kind of played with it, like, I was like, oh my god.
It made him not as intelligent as a person. It made him an animal.
Childlike almost.
And that's what people were forgetting. That's what I think King Kong fans forget. You think there's a big Kong nation out there?
It's probably just me.
Okay. So this is what I think you were getting wrong. That King Kong was like this super ape, where he was so smart that he knew what he was doing. He was very primal in everything that he did. He took Naomi Watts, and the first thing he did was climb to the highest part of the city.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The highest tree, get to the top. How that building did not collapse with that huge ass ape on it is crazy.
Well, he wasn't that big in those movies.
But he was big enough.
He was only 25 feet.
25 feet. How much do you think they weigh? An average gorilla is like 400 pounds,
Oh,
and
that's
that's
a
at
fucking lot.
like 5'11", 6 feet.
No, I think Peter
Probably
Jackson was what, 25 or 50? I don't know.
Whatever. It's probably like 10,000 pounds. That's crazy heavy, climbing up a building. Plus, you got 170-pound Naomi Watts in his arm.
170. She's probably 120.
And she's tall.
She ain't that tall.
She got long legs. The femur is heavy. It's a heavy bone.
It's heavy.
So you were a big fan of PJ's. I'm going to just continue to call him PJ.
I wouldn't even say big. I liked it. I didn't think it was the best movie.
Do you think it holds up to the 85% on Rotten Tomatoes? Because that's a high score, especially for a 2005 movie.
That's a really good score. I don't know that high. I would probably say like high 70s, early 80s.
Yeah, I think it's going to get a full tomato. It's going to get a red tomato. I don't think it's going to get a green squish. Listen, it's not at this point. It's my favorite King Kong movie because the predecessors were absolutely ridiculous.
I probably have to agree. I mean,
it's either 1933 Kong or 2005 Kong.
Yeah,
it's not Son of Kong,
and it's not.
It's not Donkey Kong. It's not Cyborg Mecha Kong. It's none of that shit. It's got to be because that's.
Well, the thing, they're the same story,
dude. I think I've seen this movie, this PJ's version, like 5 or 6 times.
I have it.
My clients love King Kong movies, so
you gonna play this episode for them?
Once a year, no, because I've already cursed enough. Once a year, they want to watch that King Kong movie, and I have to show it to them. Now, granted, it's not like I'm showing it in one day.
Yeah.
I have to show it one day, one group, which is 45 minutes. That movie takes 2 months to watch in 45-minute intervals, dude. It's crazy, but they love it, and it's got a good action. It's got a good story. It's got good graphics, so I can understand why people love it. It's the 8th version of the Lord of the Rings, essentially. He gave you a great landscape, gave you a great cast, and a great storyline, and did what he did. Let's move to current Kong, and that is King Kong Skull Island. And we've already said, but for the listeners who might be turning in right to here and didn't want to hear anything about Mega Kong, March 10th is the premiere date. We are in, and I feel like we need to say it, we are in the height of movie watching.
Oh,
first.
yeah.
As soon as Lego Batman came out February 10th, I think, or whenever, February 12th, we knew it was going to be the start of the movie season. Because think about it. There was Lego Batman, John Wick, we got Logan next week, or this upcoming week.
Yep.
We got Kong, we got Power Rangers, Beauty and the Beast, Ghost in the Shell, Guardians of the Galaxy. It just continues to get better. So we are in movie season for geeks, and I love it. Mm-hmm. When King Kong Skull Island was announced, and I feel like it was announced maybe late 2015, San Diego Comic-Con maybe. What did you think about another Kong movie? 12 years after PJ's.
I was excited.
I knew you were.
You know,
you had King Kong balloons all over your house. You were so excited.
And my King Kong onesie.
Mm-hmm.
I like the mythos of the whole story. And the Mythos of the Skull Island.
Yeah.
Because Peter Jackson's, we actually got to see Skull Island.
Mm-hmm.
And more of the creatures, and I thought that was cool. And I like that it's kind of an original story.
Yeah, me too.
You know what I mean? They're not remaking it. And I'm thinking it looks like the 70s. I don't think it's a modern.
I don't know. It's very hard to gauge because it starts off with Bad Moon Rising. Like, first, great song. Great song to open up a movie with. But
just by, like, the...
I don't think it's... I think it's more current.
So I thought it was, like, in the 70s.
Maybe.
I might be wrong.
Who knows?
But, I really want to see where they go with it because of the whole Skull Island.
Yeah, when Skull Island was announced, I was like, oh, here we go. Another King Kong movie, because, again, I'm not a huge fan on King Kong or the Mythos, honestly. So I was like, let me see what the cast is like. And then they unrolled this cast. And I'm going to go through it for you, and then we'll talk about the cast. But you have Tom Hiddleston, you have Brie Larson, John Goodman, Samuel L. Jackson, Corey Hawkins, Toby Kebbell, John C. Reilly. Mm-hmm. That's a crazy cast.
Yeah.
So when I saw that, and like, one, I like Tom Hiddleston. I haven't seen a movie besides that Hank Williams movie that he did, Walk the Light or something like that. I Saw the Light.
Yeah, so
I watched that yesterday, a little bit of it. Oh, did not like it at all. And
it didn't actually do well.
And I like country music. I did not like it. But when I saw that cast, I was like, holy shit. Like, this movie's gonna be good. Like, they went all out for... Yeah. Like, that's an expensive budget to have a cast like that. And then, just as the names continued to add, it's kind of like the same feelings I'm getting for Shane Black's Predator. You know what I mean? That's adding. That didn't it just... No. That and Godzilla, the new Godzilla, just added the guy that was in the running for Cable back in the very first one.
The guy from Friday Night Lights.
Yeah, him.
Can't remember.
Neither can I. Kyle Chandler?
Yeah.
It added him, and I was like, oh, this movie's getting really good. So, what did you think of the casting of all these people? You know, Larson and Hiddleston and so on.
I thought it was awesome. Because I really like you said, I like Tom Hiddleston. I love John Goodman.
Yeah, you're a big John Goodman fan.
I'm a huge John Goodman fan. I think he's so underrated. Like,
well, dude, he completely reinvented himself after his weight loss. When he was in 13 Cloverfield Lane, like, amazing.
Oh,
that's when you knew that John Goodman, like, he didn't go away, but he took some time off to deal with his health, and then he came back. You're like, damn, he's back with a force because he's ready to act the fuck out of these movies.
Yeah. And then Samuel L. Jackson, which seems to be in every movie.
He is in everything. He's in every movie that comes out.
And then Brie Larson, I think they nabbed her at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, right before she got her Oscar, and then right before she got Captain Marvel. Yeah. So she's on the rise. So I think they did a really good job nabbing her.
Even Toby Kebbell, like, we know him from the shitty Fantastic Four movie. Yeah. You know what I mean? But he's Koba in Planet of the Apes. Yeah. And he's great at mocap. And this is another, live action role for him. But I don't have a problem with him being in it. Corey Hawkins from Straight Outta Compton was,
In 24.
Yeah, but that was before 24. Yeah. You know what I mean? So he got... They were getting hot names.
And then also, he's not, the guy who played Eazy-E from... He's in it, too.
Yeah. The guy who... no, never mind. I'm thinking of the guy from Atlanta. He's in Get Out.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he plays the guy...
Oh, the guy with the...
With the hat, because he has a tattoo under his sleeve. Yeah, that's him.
And then John C. Reilly.
Yeah, I was very excited. I love John C. Reilly. I love everything he does, minus this Sherlock Holmes and Watson movie that hasn't come out yet.
But did you know there was two big names that were supposed to do it and dropped out?
Bob Hoskins and Danny DeVito.
Correct.
Yes. God, could you imagine a movie with those two?
Michael Keaton.
Okay.
And J.K. Simmons.
For what role, though? Are we thinking rumored John Goodman and Samuel L. Jackson?
John C. Reilly and Samuel L. Jackson.
Okay.
So I could see a J.K. Simmons... I don't know, but I can also see...
I can see Keaton as C. Reilly.
Yeah.
To give you more of a comedic undertone and, give the net, just flip it for once. You know what I mean? Because
I mean, he's done Beetlejuice and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So.
yeah, so I can see that.
But John C. Reilly, man, is
He's a scene stealer for sure.
yeah. And he was like the scene when he's like, "Hey, you guys we're all gonna die."
Yeah, he's like, you should never came here. He looks great with his beard.
Yeah, and then when he was like, "What do you call them?" Skullwalkers.
Skullwalkers.
And he's like, "That sounded better in my head."
I think that's a badass name.
Yeah.
But like, let's think about this for a second. So you have Captain Marvel, right?
Mm.
You have Loki.
Yep.
You have Nick Fury.
Yes.
You have
Doctor Doom.
Doom. You have Novagard with John C. Reilly.
Yeah.
You have John Goodman. It isn't in a Marvel, which he should be. And then you got Corey Hawkins, who's from Walking Dead and Straight Outta Compton. Like this is a. They went for people that geeks are gonna recognize. Say, fuck it, we're gonna go see this movie.
Real quick, a couple years ago, Fat John Goodman, Kingpin.
Yeah. I could see.
I mean, kind of was. Did you ever see The Gambler?
Yeah.
He was kind of like Kingpin.
Well, John Goodman can play a good dick.
Oh yeah.
And if you watched 13 Cloverfield Lane, like, you didn't know if you wanted to love him or hate him.
Yeah.
So, I like John Goodman. Underrated. I think people appreciate him. I just don't think he got like he. To me, it seemed like he took a step back to reevaluate like his health, and it wasn't like the roles weren't coming in for him because he's an accomplished actor. I think he just needed to address his health before.
And he looks real healthy.
Yeah, he lost a lot of weight. He lost what looks to be another human. So, congratulations to him because, holy shit, I don't think I could do it. Have that discipline. Is this one of the best casts besides Marvel and Star Wars?
I think so.
Because half of them are from Marvel?
Yeah. I think it is. I think it's a really, really good cast.
I agree.
A lot of accomplished actors.
Mm-hmm.
We got Academy Award nominees, winners.
Yeah. Up and coming, already established. So there's a really good balance between ages as well. Mm-hmm. It's from very older with John Goodman and Samuel L. to young with Corey Hawkins.
And it's from the director of Boys of Summer or something like that, or
Okay.
Kings of Summer. Like, really a nobody.
Yeah.
And the Kings of Summer was the only movie he did. And his name's I forget what it is. But Kings of Summer was like a low budget, movie about kids building a house.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, man, sometimes you need to bring in people with really that'll take. Listen, anybody would want to do a King Kong movie. You know what I mean? Because it's an established character. You really don't have to think that much. You just have to throw in some special effects, get a good cast, and an okay storyline, and let them do their magic. But in order for, and this is just my thought, in order for a movie to be successful, I feel like you need to take risks sometimes. So if a guy makes a movie about kids building a house and wants to release that, knowing that it could go either way, it's not a sure thing and it may not be a successful thing. To take that risk is huge because that means they're willing to take a risk with bigger characters too. You know what I mean? It's kind of like Tim Miller with Daredevil or Deadpool. And then the Russos and James Gunn, all the Marvel directors. Look at what Marvel just did with Taika Waititi. You know what I mean? This is a guy who did Hunt for Wilder People. That's it. You know what I mean? And that was big in New Zealand. And that starred a small child that nobody knows and Sam Neill. And Marvel said, you know what? That movie was beautiful. You're gonna do next.
And they also
you're gonna
did
do
that vampire movie.
You're gonna do Thor Ragnarok. So think about it. Like, you do need creative minds and up and comers because the property could get stale. What if this was another Peter Jackson?
Well, like how we
movie?
talked about with Gareth Edwards.
Yeah.
Who did not even a fan made movie.
Yeah.
And he got Godzilla, and then he just got Star Wars.
Yeah.
And Rogue One was the biggest movie of last year.
And Godzilla was a great movie.
Yeah, it was.
So yeah, I couldn't say it better. So that was really good. Do you disagree with any of the castings?
The only one that leaves a bad taste in my mouth is Toby Cabell.
Okay.
Just because of Doctor Doom was shit.
But that wasn't his fault.
No.
Dude, I could have seen this movie being cast completely different.
Oh, it could have been.
I could have seen Jennifer Lawrence as Brie Larson's character. Miles Teller as Tom Hiddleston's character.
Oh, my God.
Or maybe a Liam Hemsworth. You know what I mean? And I'm not knocking either one of them. They both are much more famous than I am, much more successful, and they do a profession that I don't think I could really do. I don't think I could ever be an actor, nor would I, because I stutter and I get nervous and I sweat a lot. I don't think it would be a good idea. But I could see this movie, if they wanted just hot names, it would have been Jennifer Lawrence movie. It probably would have been mildly successful, but I think what they're doing now is that they've allocated enough money to put into not just one role, but to all the roles. And now they can open it up. I didn't disagree with any of the castings. I don't care. Like, Toby Kebbell doesn't look like he's going to be a huge character. And his name being in it doesn't leave a bad taste in my mouth, because that Doctor Doom storyline was not his.
I know.
And that was a clusterfuck of Josh Trank. And I'm not going to, I like Kate Mara still and Jamie Bell.
Yeah, true.
I'm not a big Miles Teller fan because I just don't like the stories I've heard from how he acts on set. It's kind of like a young Russell Crowe, where he's known as a dick. Not a lot of people want to work with him, so I don't have any disagreements. I for one thought that the young Asian woman was the chick who played Katana. It is not. I made sure I looked. And the only other person I know that wasn't really featured in any of it was a comedian called Dat Fan. Did you ever hear of Dat Fan?
No.
He won Last Comic Standing, and I remember him. He's pretty funny. So I'm curious to see how he reacts in it.
And speaking of casting, he did a great job of turning the movie down. That Tom Hiddleston turned down Ben-Hur to do this,
and Toby Kebbell took it. Right?
No.
Wasn't he in that?
He was in that, but he played Ben-Hur's brother. But he turned down, and then
was this another movie that Tom Hiddleston turned down? The Crow, was that the same? Because The Crow was supposed to come out around this time.
Yeah, probably.
So this might have been this is a good godsend for Tom Hiddleston.
Yeah.
Who, you want to talk underrated actors? I think he's underrated. Most people just see him as Loki. I think he's
everyone knows him as Loki.
I liked him in Crimson
Danielle
Peak.
still calls him Loki.
I liked him in Crimson Peak. Not a good movie, but I liked him in it. And, for a Brit to do a Hank Williams movie.
The Night Manager was really
Night Manager was really, really good. I mean, it got nominated for a shitload of awards.
Yeah, Golden Globes.
I think they won, right?
Yeah, it did.
So, yeah. So I like Tom Hiddleston, and he's definitely going to bring in the ladies. It's going to get 50 Shades Dark or Sweaty in there.
But Danielle wants to go see it for her birthday.
Because he's in it. Yeah, most people do. He's a good actor. He's a handsome devil, Chuck. So we have 2 or 3 trailers that came out with a ton of TV spots. Do you have any, what do you think of it? Do you have any reactions to it? Do you think they're showing too much of the movie, or we're getting a healthy balance of the same scenes just mixed differently?
No, well, in the first trailer, they didn't really show Kong that much.
No.
And I'm like, I hope it's not kind of like Godzilla, where they show him the last 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And after seeing more, I don't think that's going to be the way.
Oh no, he's front and center in the new trailers.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying.
When we saw John Wick, it was helicopter, Kong's face.
Yeah, and he was like, "Is that a gorilla?
Yeah, is that a monkey?"
And then they said, "What?" And then a fucking palm tree comes fucking through the helicopter.
And not just a tree. That shit had the roots on it.
Yeah.
And dirt still.
Yeah.
He pulled up the entire earth.
In this one, he's going to be 100 feet.
Yeah. Listen, the trailer has, Kong doesn't look cheesy.
No.
He doesn't look overdone. The other creatures that we'll talk about look amazing.
And that poster, though, with him in, the horizon, with the sun setting, dude, oh, my God.
Do you know that a lot of people have made the fan poster for the Flash and Grodd crossover?
Yeah.
Which I think CW released something that was really similar to that as well. So I think that's why fans went and ran for it. But
I think, and then the comedic parts with John C. Reilly.
Yeah.
I think they're the highlight
of
the trailer.
I'll tell you know what my highlight is, and it's been from the very first trailer. the people that are with John C. Reilly, like the indigenous people,
Yeah.
I can imagine the scene with the spears in a 3D setting to be flawless. Like, make it seem like they're actually poking you. And, like, they blend in, and just, like, the fact that they really... He's not just Kong. Like, he is the epitome of King Kong. He is worshipped on that. And John C. Reilly makes it known that, like, that's Kong. He's king here. And he's a good king. Keeps to himself, and, you know... I really like that they're sticking to the story and saying, you know, he's not just a giant ape, he's a king. He's royalty on this island. He's royalty to the people, he's royalty to the animals or the other creatures, but he's got enemies. There's bad guys. And we're going to talk about them. You made mention to them. There are skull crawlers. First of all, great name. They look like lizards?
Yeah.
Like dinosaur lizards?
With long beak-like mouths.
Yeah, like Middle Earth creatures. What are your thoughts on, first, the Skull Walkers, and then the rest of the giant creatures that we're seeing? Because at first I was like, Jesus Christ, everything's big on this island. Everything. The ox is huge. The stick bug was huge. They're shooting the M16s on a stick bug. Stick bugs around in New Jersey are like 3 inches long. This thing is like 40 feet tall. So what are you thinking about the creatures?
I think it looks awesome. And again, what I was saying, I'm really glad they're really focusing on the island, too. I mean, we did see some in Peter Jackson, but, I mean, I think here we're just going to see a lot more.
Did it look like there was a mammoth skull?
Yeah.
Okay. I wanted to make sure I wasn't the only one who noticed that. Like, the skull crawlers, they just run around with caulk and just fill in skulls. The skull walkers look like they ran around a mammoth skull, which is awesome. Maybe there's a little more of a flashback with some mammoths of how King Kong left there, or maybe there's truly mammoths.
Yeah.
Oof.
Or some type of elephant type creature.
Yeah. Well, we saw the ox come out of the water. That scene was awesome.
Yeah, and Brie Larson's standing there and was kind of like, holy shit.
Yeah, I want to be holy shit to be like, oh man, there's shit in my pants. That's how it would be.
But no, I think the creatures look really good, and I really want to see where they go with it, because it's Skull Island itself.
Yeah. The thing I think about it is, again, the creatures don't look cheesy. You know what I mean? They look real. They look like if you were on that island, you wouldn't be like, huh, look at that thing. It's funny. Like, no, they look beautiful. That ox is awesome. It has the, you know, even Kong has the moss on his back, and like it just looks like they're one with, like, they're part of the island.
Yeah,
they're part of the world. They're part of the land. They've been there for so long. Like, I don't think that they're fresh. I mean, they're probably old ass animals that have been there for a long time. So I think just the way that they've included larger animals to go with, it's the thing of the island, not just Kong isn't the big guy. You know, there's other big animals here. You know what I mean? If it was just Kong and then like tiny little goats and little puppies and like a crane, you're like, oh, this island fucking sucks.
tiny little puppies.
Like, could you imagine like little wild dogs running around and you got a 100-foot gorilla? That would be cheesy. But then you get Kong, 100 feet. You got a 50-foot ox. You got a 40-foot stick bug. You got these 20-foot long skull walkers, skull crawlers, whatever the hell they're called. I think that it gives you a good counterbalance too, because this could easily be a movie where the humans are the bad guys.
Oh, yeah.
And that's it. Like, humans go in like we do, and we uproot everything and shift the natural habitat like we're doing, especially in New Jersey. With the deer, we're taking their habitats. But you have... I feel like it could have just been that movie. Oh, we need new land, we're going there. And don't get me wrong, Samuel L. Jackson's the bad guy in this movie.
Yeah.
He's going there dropping bombs. You know what I mean? But there's also demons and also bad things that you just don't have to deal with Kong. Like, Kong's not living in peace. He's got to deal with the skull crawlers. So it gives you not just, oh, all people are bad, but there's other shit going on in this island. For sure.
Oh, no, there's definitely demons and you know, it's going to be a battle.
Yeah, and I'm guaranteeing some of that main cast is dying. We already know that Alison Brie, or Brie Larson, I knew I was going to fuck it up, Brie Larson is going to be the Naomi Watts of the storyline. I'm thinking Corey Hawkins dies.
Corey Hawkins dying.
I'm thinking John Goodman dies.
Toby Kebbell dies.
Samuel L. Jackson's probably going to die. And I think it's going to be Brie Larson and Tom Hiddleston getting out.
And John C. Reilly going home.
No, he's going to die. I think he's going to want to sacrifice himself. Like, he's not going to want to. Do you think he wants to go home? First of all, he grew an awesome beard. He's still got a badass jacket and hat combo.
And he's king of the indigenous people.
And I'm sure he's got an indigenous wife. And she probably looks fine as shit. So, I wouldn't want to go home. Not at all. Alright, so this is the future thinking. We're moving away from Skull Island. Say goodbye. Say goodbye to Skull Walkers, Skull Crawlers, Skull Caulkers. Say goodbye to all the beasts on the island. Say goodbye to Kong. Because we're probably not going to see him until 2020. Right? So the next step is probably going to be Kong vs. Godzilla. Easy to say. It's already in the pipeline. Is it a good idea to immediately thrust them together? Or would you rather see what Godzilla's doing, getting a sequel, and get a Kong sequel instead? How do you feel about that?
I mean, I would like that. Because, again, I still think it's in the 70s. I don't know why I'm thinking that, but I think it is. So, that 40 years, it was like a 40, 50-year gap.
Yeah.
And then you're going to be fighting Kong.
It's going to be Mecha Kong all over again, I'm telling you. Like, it's that 1933 to 1963. Now he's fighting Mecha Kong.
So I don't know. If they're going to go that route, I hope they kind of say where Kong's been. Mm-hmm. But I would have liked the Kong sequel.
Me too.
But I understand where they're going. They're just going to... They're trying to make money.
Yeah. I would appreciate a Kong sequel, but I'll give you my caveat. I'll give you my way to bridge it. Secret scene. Secret scene. At the end of the movie, we finally realize that the people that are going to the Skull Island are actually the people from the American version of the Japanese company that fucked up the the Godzilla experiment, or they're on Skull Island and they come back and San Francisco is all destroyed because Kong was already there, or Godzilla was already there. So they say, "Oh my God, we got Godzilla over here. How do we stop it?" Tom Hiddleston looks at Brie Larson and says, "We got to get Kong." So maybe Kong's going to be a mercenary for the Americans to kill Godzilla.
That's a possibility.
I would love it if Kong works with us, and it's not like we bring him over terrified and we uproot him and we say, "You know what? You're going to live in a cage and be a sideshow freak. I want you to come here and fuck up a giant lizard. You enjoy beating skull crawlers up. Come beat up this T-Rex fire-breathing lizard-ass monster." Right? Now, that would be a good bridge. I want that same dialogue. I could write it. Listen, we're
not getting Batman. So.
We're definitely not getting Batman because DC must have heard what we were talking about and said, our only other option are two guys to do a podcast. We better pay Matt Reeves to do this movie. So you want the sequel?
I would, but it's not going to happen.
I want the sequel as well. I know we're not getting a sequel because it's already in the pipelines that we have Godzilla 2 coming out next year or 2019, one of the two. And that movie, we already said Kyle Chandler's going to be in it. Millie Bobby Brown's in it. Do you think like Elizabeth Olsen and Aaron Taylor are going to be in it?
I think they're steering away from that.
It was a good movie.
It was good. The only thing about that, I was pissed that they killed Bryan Cranston.
Yo, they killed him early too, and for no fucking reason. Like no reason to kill Zordon like that. That was sad. That was a sad death. If it's a true sequel, they have to be in it.
Yeah. Just
to die like Bryan Cranston. Maybe Millie Bobby Brown's their kid. They're older in the. Yeah. It's like years after Godzilla. Like 10 years after Godzilla, and Millie Bobby 13 years after. I was about to say,
because they had a fucking boy.
Yeah, maybe. Well, she can shave her head and be 11 again. I thought 11 was a boy to begin with.
That's what Danielle thought.
90% of people thought that was a
like,
boy.
"Why is this little boy?" And I'm like, and even
I had to do an IMDb search because she played a convincing little boy. Not gonna lie. So let's go to a battle round. We are going to open up the Active
We ain't
Geek.
done Battle Round in a while.
No, we're going to open up the Active Geek Arena. I like that, the concept of this, the Active Geek Arena. Like, we're bringing them into the arena so we can talk about them. You know what I mean? Trial by fire stuff. We're going to pit Kong against some people. All right? So let's start real easy. And it's not Mecha Kong, because I don't want to talk about him ever again. So we're going to pit an ape versus ape. Large 150-foot ape versus, let's say, 9-foot telepath ape. Kong versus Gorilla Grodd. Who wins?
Now, even though Grodd is smart and has telepath, I think Kong is more savage. And he's 10 times bigger.
Well, we already saw that Grodd is a puppet master. I'm not going to spoil the Flash episode because some people might not have seen it. But historically, Grodd is a puppet master. Telepath. He gets in your head, makes you do things. I'm taking Kong. What do you think? Kong?
Yeah, I thought you were going Grodd.
No, well...
Because the way you were just talking up Grodd, I was like, all right, he's going Grodd.
He's a puppet master, so he has everybody else do things for him. So I don't think that he would fight Grodd. He wouldn't fight Kong himself. He had other people fight him. My other question is, can Grodd control Kong? Because Grodd couldn't control Solivar.
Yeah.
So is his telepath?
It might only work on humans.
Yeah, is his telepathy only available on humans? You know what I mean? So that's the main, thing in this, the curveball. Can he control another animal? I don't think so. So I think you have the 12-foot gorilla or a 9-foot gorilla or however tall Gorilla Grodd is. I think Kong just steps on him.
Yeah.
So that's my thought because, again, couldn't kill Solivar on his own. So I don't think he's going to kill Kong.
Yeah, I agree. Like, he's, 10 feet compared to 100 feet.
Yeah.
And he's more savage.
It's like Muggsy Bogues dunking over Yao Ming. Not going to happen. Sorry, Muggsy.
So yeah, Kong.
Okay. We're going to go Kong versus another type of dragon and Fin Fang Foom. Who wins?
My boy, Fin Fang Foom. Yep.
I'm going Kong. He is going to turn Fin Fang Foom into a scarf. He's a skinny-ass dragon. He's not Godzilla big.
No, he's going to fucking walk all over with those purple pants.
I'm not taking Fin Fang Foom. Speaking of purple pants, let's go to
Segue.
a green and purple monster known to most as Bruce Banner, also known as the Hulk. Hulk versus Kong. Who's winning?
Hulk.
Now we're going two savages.
Too savage. I think Hulk's more savage.
How does he kill King Kong?
Rips his head off.
He's gonna climb up him?
Fuck yeah.
Okay.
He took down those big...
Fuck yeah. Well, I love the dramatic tone you're at right now.
He took down those big-ass motherfucking...
The Chitauri monsters, yeah. They were big.
And they flew.
But they weren't as mobile as Kong. And fly is a very loose term that you're using right there. Those motherfuckers hovered. They floated. They floated over New York City.
I think... Because, what's Hulk? 15 feet? 12 feet?
I don't think he's 15.
10 feet?
Maybe 9.5, 10.
So, he's just going to run right through his fucking Achilles tendon, fucking take that shit out.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm not taking Kong in this. I just wanted to know where you were going.
Nah.
I'm going Hulk because I think Hulk's not going to run out of energy. Kong's going to run out of energy because there's a whole beast inside of Bruce Banner that turns into the Hulk that you don't see him get tired. You don't see him turn into a mouth breather. You don't see him, you don't see him yawn. You see him just continuously beating the shit out of things. So, how do you beat a giant? Take him out of the legs. Achilles heel, knee, just take him out. You get King Kong down to one knee, it's game over. And Hulk got a team. Kong doesn't have a team. Hulk can just call the Avengers in. Imagine Iron Man coming through with phasers and shit. Thor throwing Mjolnir through Kong's belly button. Oh, hot damn. And finally, this is the foreshadowing, I guess, until 2020. Kong vs. Godzilla. Who wins?
Godzilla.
Okay. You're going Godzilla?
Yeah.
I don't see a world where Hollywood would let Godzilla lose. Especially, I mean, unless it's fighting Mechazilla or Rodan. Like, Mothra. That better be the sequel. Mothra. I don't want to see... Listen, Godzilla's got some corny-ass villains as well. I'm pretty sure there's a Mecha Godzilla that has, like, a metal crown. And, like, he wears a helmet. I don't want to see that on my television ever. So I want Mothra in the next one, or Rodan. I don't even know who Rodan is. Is it a bug? Is it a bug person?
He's like a winged Godzilla.
Okay. But doesn't wear a metal helmet, right?
No. I believe that's right.
He's not Ancient Aliens weird where he's
Mothra
like,
is just a big fucking moth.
I like Mothra. I don't like moths.
I believe Rodan is a flying
I believe monster, right? Rodan. Ooh, it's a great ass name too. I wish he was a rat. Rattan. Just could you imagine Godzilla fighting a 100-foot rat? Oh my god, like a New York subway rat.
There might be 100 feet.
Christ almighty. Well, we'll know in 2 weeks. So you're going Godzilla. I'm gonna go with Godzilla. Sorry, Kong. You know, I'm hoping that this movie is the movie that changes my mind about King Kong. And then when we talk about our Godzilla podcast in 2029 or 2020, when we're Kong versus
we'll
Zilla.
do a Godzilla too.
Well, we will. But when Kong versus Zilla, maybe I could take Killer Kong. Maybe he'll have that savage ass name by the end. Killer Kong. Yeah? That'd be great, right?
Hashtag Killer Kong.
Hashtag Killer. It sounds just like you just said, kill a condom. Do not post that. Let's go to the Geek Gallery. I know you spoke today. You had something you wanted to talk about. Hit me with it.
The casting rumors of the Inhumans.
Yeah.
First, the other day, we got our first casting. I'm not going to try to pronounce his name.
Ewan Ryan, Ramsay Bolton from Game of Thrones.
Yes, is going to play
Maximus the Mad.
Which is a fantastic name.
Listen, you know where I stand as far as like Ronan the Accuser.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Azog the Defiler. I'm a huge fan of Jim the Blank. You know what I mean? Jack the Ripper. I love the nickname. So
Chuck the Gritty.
We'll call it that. Maximus the Mad. I really like that. But you spoke about rumors. So what's the rumor?
The rumor I seen this morning was the producer of the show.
Yes.
Is
James DeLulo and Chuck Miller, us.
Is saying that a Lost from the TV show, the ABC TV show Lost, a veteran from that show is going to have a part in the show.
Dude, I'll be honest with you. When you said there was going to be a Lost veteran playing the role, I thought it was like a war veteran that was like lost. I didn't know what the fuck you were talking about. You said there was going to be a Lost veteran. I was like, where was he? Like, I had no idea where he was. Had absolutely no idea where he was.
That's why I try to say it a little better.
So you're thinking Matthew Fox for Black Bolt.
I think Matthew Fox Black Bolt.
And I said Dominic Monaghan for Gordon. So, I don't know. Maybe the Golden Retriever from
they did say that.
Dog's Purpose is going to be in Lockjaw.
But,
what if it's the large man that was in Lost? What was his name? Gabriel Iglesias?
George Garcia.
Jorge Garcia?
Yeah.
Wow, you completely Americanized his name. Maybe he'll be in it. He's a Lost veteran.
Well, we know one person can't be in it. Evangeline Lilly.
Yeah, because she is already playing our Wasp.
Yeah.
So you're excited about that?
Yeah, I really want to see where they go with it.
Yeah, listen, I'm excited for everything that's coming out. You know what I mean? Like I said, we are in movie central right now. Television series are coming up. I mean, we have a extremely great television show coming up on St. Patrick's Day, which we will recap, or we won't recap, we will preview in a very short while with Iron Fist. You know what I mean? I'll tell you one thing I'm geeking out about, and I'm glad you didn't talk about it. March 11th, you, me, and our buddy and Active Geek family member, Tom, are going to New York City.
Yes.
And we are not going to New York City to get a bubblegum shrimp. We are not going to New York City to get a picture with a naked cowboy. We are not going to New York City to go to the M&M factory or M&M store or Planet Hollywood, or is that even a place anymore, Planet Hollywood?
They just reopened one in Disney.
Seriously?
Yeah.
We're not going to Hard Rock. We're not going to watch the ball drop. You know what we're doing? We're not going to protest.
No.
We're going to meet Stan Lee.
Stan the Man Lee.
We're going to meet Stan fucking Lee. Uncle Stan, a guy that we did a podcast episode on.
Entire podcast.
And we got a lot of listens because I think people thought we were interviewing him.
Really?
Yeah, I really do. And we were going to go meet him. I hope that I didn't just jinx ourselves. And I'm going to knock on wood, and I'm going to keep it in. I'm going to keep it in the episode because I believe in good karma. We're going to go meet him. You said you're going to cry. If you cry, you need a ride home because I'm not taking you home. I could not geek out more about this.
No.
And call it what it is, but this is the only chance we're going to get. This is his last East Coast appearance. It says it on his website.
Yeah, we're not traveling West Coast.
And I might. I went to New Orleans to meet Chris Evans. I'll go anywhere. But this is his last. It says 2017. My man's 94 years old. He doesn't have many years of traveling left.
Yeah.
And God, I hope he doesn't cancel. I'm hawking this. I can't see him canceling 2 weeks before because we don't get refunds on our tickets. We get refunds on our photo op, but that's about it.
I guess we still go.
To meet Foggy.
Just for the day. I mean.
To meet Foggy from the... Plus, it's my birthday
Celebrate
weekend.
Your birthday, yeah.
And I hate when people say birthday weekend, but my birthday is on a Thursday, so it's 2 days after, so I can celebrate it then. And it could be a mini bachelor party. Who knows? But I'm geeking out about that. It's bucket list stuff. If you listen to our Get to Know the Geeks episode, we talked about our pop culture and our geek bucket list. And that's number one for both of us. Mm-hmm. This is huge. I'm excited. You're excited. I know Tom's excited. It's going to be a great day. We might YouTube live or Facebook live it. We might even Instagram live it. Not the meet because that's frowned upon. But like the anticipation going into it. If you cry, it's going on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and YouTube, and I'll put it on Vivo. I'll put it on the Amazon Fire Stick. I'll put it on everything of you just crying, and it'll be a loop, so it makes it seem like you've been crying for 45 minutes. But I'm geeking out about that. I spoke about Con Man. I really like that show. We're going to meet Alan Tudyk in the upcoming months, which is really cool. And one other thing I'm geeking out about, and this is nowhere near when we're going to record it because we're releasing this 5 days later. But today, the day we're recording this is February 25th. I am 1 month away from being married. It's awesome. I'm looking forward to it. I picked up my marriage license yesterday, filed for it. So shit's getting real, man.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, because you're going to be getting married to me. It's going to be a great day.
Yeah. No,
we are not getting married together. For the new listeners, I am marrying a woman named Chelsea. But yeah, I'm very excited for that, and that's my geek gallery. So let's plug ourselves. That's the last thing we need to do, and that's the first thing that all of our listeners need to do is to follow us on all of our social medias. So we have Twitter, @ActiveGeek_, Instagram, The Active Geek. Then there's Facebook, Active Geek, SoundCloud, The Active Geek Podcast, Spreaker and iTunes Store. Will be Geek Culture Cast Network, where our buddies Legends of the Panel podcast, Warp My TARDIS, and Microburst podcast are. And we're also on iTunes Store for podcasts under the Active Geek Podcast. So follow us on all that stuff. I know we don't post a lot, but still follow us. Let us know you're listening. Like and rate our iTunes podcast so we can reach more people. And just remember this. You don't go dropping bombs on someone's front yard without looking for a fight. See ya.